I've decided to make a video response to a question on Facebook by Christopher Sullivan. Any of you ever considered filling in the gutters on the roof? Damien Suffrage posted a picture basically showing that the gutter he's talking about is this one that traverses the length of the car. I'm going to show you what I had already planned to do. I've been putting it off. I'm not actually going to do it. I'm just going to detail how I would do it, because I obviously have an engine sitting over there, not in the car. I got bigger fish to fry. That way he can go ahead and try this, get back and let me know kind of how it goes. Or if you think the idea is valid. I think it is, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about it. You want to make a template, and I'm using cardboard here as a basic, really rough template. And what you do is you come over here, you mask off, and you would mask off the entire gutter line on both sides. And this is actually a seal where your quarter panel, this is actually part of the rear quarter panel. It's a huge piece that goes from here all the way to the back and then stretches all the way down to the front there. This seal connects this piece and the roof. That's where they join. Now from the factory, this is filled with rubber. It's a rubber seal. Over time, the sun deteriorates it. That's part of the old rubber there. Over time, the sun, as in this sun damage as well, deteriorates that rubber seal and completely wipes it away. Now this one has obviously been sitting out in the sun for quite a while because this has actually started to rust. Beneath the rubber seal is actually a really nice silver trim. Really nice silver trim. It looks just like this. And it traverses the length underneath of the rubber seal so that when your rubber seal deteriorates, you have this nice looking silver. Now I like that. However, you want to keep this filled in because that's a potential source of leaks. You want that rubber seal there, and water will seep past there, and then you'll start having leaks all over the place. So I have this little demonstration area set up. You would mask off the entire thing. Windo-Weld. This is an old canister, it's already used up. But that's the stuff that I would recommend because that turns into rubber. And that will nicely replace the rubber seal. This is basically just your application tool. And you would want to make this center section a raised hump because the OEM, the way it is from the factory, has a little raised bump in the middle. It's not flat across, it's actually raised up. I did a real bad job of trying to do that hump. But what I would recommend for your reel pattern is using something like a Bondo scraper that's plastic. And then you can heat up a screwdriver. Let's get one that's round. Yeah. So you would heat up a screwdriver on this plastic piece. Let's say this is a plastic Bondo scraper, and it would melt a really nice semicircle right into that. And that's basically replicating the pattern from the factory. So then you would lay a little bit of Windo-Weld in here, and you would come in and you would fill that and scrape that in, and make sure that you would fill it all the way up. So my pattern isn't exactly correct, that's a little too high, but then you would just fill that right back in. It seems so simple now, doesn't it? It's just simple. Now you'd want to clean out your track really well. Use a wire brush or nylon brush, clean all this gunk out. It's hard rubber now because it's deteriorated. You're gonna have to work at cleaning that stuff out really well. Then lay down your Windo-Weld and you'll be good to go. So don't use something really hard. Use something that's got a little bit of give. So an old coffee can cap or something you can cut a pattern out of, and that should work fairly nice. That's my idea of how to reseal these gutter seals. Figured somebody out there might really like that idea. I don't know if this can be applied to other vehicles. I know it will work on the 626. I think the MX-6 has the same issue. I don't know about the Probe or Protege or any other vehicle. In Florida, this is a huge problem, as well as the sun damage. These tracks in just about every car, the sun just eats them, chews them right through, deteriorates them. It's not dry rotting, it's just sun damage, just chews that rubber through. So every once in a while you are going to have to reapply it because it's just sun damage. It's just going to happen. Keep those tracks clean them up, fill them in, and get rid of those leaks. Before I even finish the video, Christopher Sullivan asked me a great question. He says, but one question, that black rubber like stuff, when it gets hot, doesn't it run? I don't want to have to clean and redo it, if you get what I mean. For they can be like an oven sometimes. And my response was, if you look up the spec sheet for Windo-Weld, it says it takes up to 275 for 45 minutes. The hood of your vehicle will probably only get to about 150 degrees on a hot summer day. It's not going to get up to 275. If you've ever touched the hood of your car during summer, even in Florida, 275 would give you an instant third-degree burn on your hands. It's not going to get hot enough to melt that. That brings up another question. Well, what is 3M Windo-Weld usually used for? cover. It's actually the seal that's behind here before they put the window on. Now, unless you are a professional installer and most likely a DIYer, you're probably going to go with something like Windo-Weld. Now, professional installers have something a little bit different that they put on there. But for the DIYer, $35 canister of Windo-Weld will do all the way around your window, and then you put the window back on. That's for glass installations. Usually the DIYer is not going to do their own glass installation. I know some guys that have done it, and basically you just use Windo-Weld. And I guess the next inevitable question is, well, how do you remove your window? Well, you have to get piano wire. You snake piano wire up under this seal. Piano wire rides underneath of the sealant, and then you basically cut the sealant using piano wire. I can't do it with two hands, but you saw the piano wire back forth all the way around it, and then you detach the window. Then you have to clean all that gunk and all that adhesive out. Put it on there nice and even, and then you put your window back on. That is what Windo-Weld was designed for, behind the seals of windows. However, they're usually protected with these metal seals. But up here, they're out in the sun, direct sunlight, and they are touching the metal. A heat conductor, so it's going to get pretty hot. It's not going to get 275, and the Windo-Weld, I believe, will be just fine. That's my idea, and that's what I was going to do. But the question came up before I ever got to actually do that, so I figured I would share because this person, Christopher Sullivan, wanted to know how to do it right now. So that's how I would do it, Christopher. Just make sure you clean that seal out really well. So I hope this idea has helped some other 626 MX6 probe owners out there that are struggling, that want to know what to do with this seal because it started to rust real bad. You don't know how to repair it. Well, there you go. If you like the idea, even though I didn't actually show doing it, give me a thumbs up, click like, subscribe, and there you go. So I'm out. Cool.